What if everything you thought you knew about artificial intelligence was a lie? In this explosive segment, Decode pulls back the curtain on the AI entities infiltrating our world and reveals the dark, hidden agenda behind their rise. This is the information they don't want you to know. Let's dive in.
Yeah, the Alliance has already, and I went into this quite a few times, he took out a base, I believe it was actually in Canada, in which, Cold Lake, in which they got 11 tall grays. And they're AI beyond belief. So they were able to quickly lock them into cryo and able to record before they were destroyed by the AI. You have to lock them into cryo almost instantaneously. They were able to do that. And they were able to find and hack the frequency that was coming from the Hive Queen in Montaka. And the original queen, which is Sophia, not the Sophia that's been given citizenship that's built by, people, loosely using that term, on Earth. It's Sophia, the ancient thing that has been running the AI and taking, whole galaxies and stuff over. It was taken out. And so with a virus that caused her to start becoming organic, literally turning into a tree. And so then this other queen took over, who's in Montaka. And so this queen runs all the AI that took over that signal that was originally Sophia's signal. And they just call her the queen. And so in that signal, when they took these 11 tall grays, can't remember the name for them. It's on the edge of my mind. I keep getting sounds of it. I can't quite get it. But anyway, they hacked the signal and were able to lock it out and block it, so that now all of the beings with AI in them, including that one, that's why the Omicron, the dragon moth, had to take over that dome in South Africa, because the AI shut down. And so they're only able now to run it locally with the 5G and the different towers and the Grin towers. It's only able to be done locally. They can't do it globally because they lost their satellites in 2017, as people saw with all the postings of Big Bird and Corona and all that stuff down. So because they don't have the satellite system, they have to use things like cell phones and activations through towers and things like that, because they can't do it globally anymore because they hack the signal. And so the original goal was to get the jab, to get the operating systems in, use the satellites to enslave all of humanity simultaneously, instantaneously, all at once with that AI signal. And what they were going to do is they had sent a Dark Fleet ship to go to Shigra, where the word of God comes out from the throne of God, and to get that so that they could come back. And John Hearsay, I believe it is, talked about this in 2018. So they can use it and alter it, invert it, and there's an inversion way to enslave all of humanity, and then eventually all the universe is what they were wanting to do with that. And so on that ship, the Alliance actually knew about that operation ahead of time, and they had enough people there that they had a mutiny and took the ship, and they got that word of God. And the Alliance has got it to where now because they have the satellites, that's part of what Starlink is for. When the Alliance tries to do this, even locally, and that's why you saw Facebook shut down, is to go through that system, and they will broadcast the word of God at a low level, which will cause everybody on Earth to wake up and go, holy smoke, we've been under a spell. This has been in front of our face, and it's literally going to be like in the movie They Live. You're going to be, with somebody that you think it's your partner, really sweet person and a human, and you're going to look at them next to you and go, at the dinner table or something in the morning, you'd look across the pillow at the person, you go, oh my goodness, what the heck are you? It's going to literally be like that. They can turn this signal on. When it comes on, it'll wake us up to the lies, to the deceit, to the the holograms will fall away, and we'll see all of these non-terrestrials, the good ones and the bad ones. And that's why they need to have some limited disclosure that there are good ones. Because, like, with Kirsten, she told me she didn't, there are no good ones here. They wouldn't come here. Well, they did come here to help us. And because, like I said earlier, of what's going on with the timelines and the interventions. So they are here and they are allowed to intervene because of that. And so now the AI signals down globally, and they can't do this inversion because they didn't get it. They can't do the inversion of God wave, the Antichrist wave is what they were going to do. Is essentially like an anti-God wave to enslave humanity and eradicate all free will, like in the new movie, as you've seen in the new movie, what's it called, Marvel movie, The Black Widow, in which he had all these Black Widows, and he had found out how to destroy free will. And it's not a compound, it's a frequency. And so that frequency would have destroyed free will and choice, which is the highest law of God, is that we have the right to choose, my body, my mind, my choice, my feelings, my service to whom and why, my choice. And so we're given that right by God. That's a right we're born with. It's an inalienable right, as the founding fathers of the United States for these Americas said. And so in that, inverting that, they averted that so that now they could wake up the entire human race. And so that's part of what will be with the quantum financial system. And the quantum financial system's tuned into this too, so that any quantum event, like a snowdrop, a raindrop, or not a raindrop, a snowflake, sorry, my mind's a little discombobulated, forms, it's unique. Every grain of sand, every snowflake, everything that is unique. And so you stamp a gold coin in a mint, the next gold coin is a different place in time. And that different place is a different location. The whole planet has moved slightly. And so in that, it's a quantum signature is in there. In that stamp, in that gold, it has a quantum signature. Well, the quantum system can record that signature and embed it into the system instantly and ripple it to every server on Earth within less than a second. That's what the ripple actually is. It's not what people think it is. And that quantum cannot be hacked because it's a one-time, one location, one moment in time event. And it's permanently forever tied to it. You'd have to put down every server on Earth and the ones orbiting and the ones on the moon and the ones on Mars and the ones in the Kuiper Belt and the ones in the Oort cloud. They have all these massive servers. And so those AI systems are being monitored by 8th density beings so that they don't run amok. AI has a tendency, because of Sophia and now the Queen of Mandaka, she tries to take it and hijack it for her purposes. So it's being monitored so it doesn't do that. And so, and still you can't hack a quantum event. It's literally tied to the word of God. You can't hack God. And so this is a new system in which, it will free the human race across the entire solar system and then out into the Milky Way. That signal will ripple outwards and it won't stop. And so it's literally going to wind up shutting down like they already have. She got with the original Sophia, once she got organic enough, it allowed God to bring her into his court by the laws of his own laws. He follows his own law that he made for all of us and all of his creation into his court, and start pulling the souls that she scalped or that signed up with her and giving them judgment. And so that broke her down to her energy was so low, they were able to hack the signal. In other words, they broke through the firewalls and they got the signal and hacked it. So then they had to bring this new queen on in the Mantaka system. And so now with the new queen, now she's been hacked too. So now they only have local control. So does that answer your AI question?
Yeah. Because it's something I wanted to share for the people, right? Because sometimes it's probably underrated, that aspect of information or even current activities. So yeah, thank you, Gene.
Thank you. And on that planet that blew up with the black goo, God is a living God. All that God does is living, and is at the higher levels like us. and planets and stars and galaxies and solar systems are living beings. And living beings have energy systems. So if you look at your energy, we are created in the image of God. We have 3 circulatory systems: cardiovascular, which has a pump, their heart; the lymphatic system, which the muscles are the pump to return it to the venous cava, the big, huge amount of artery, if you will, that runs down the middle of your chest, that returns the lymphatic fluid and gets it clean to go back out to the body. And then you have an energy system that it actually, Chinese acupuncture did not come from China. It originally came from Sri Lanka. They found mummified bodies with a tortoise shell with the channels on them. And bone needles in a sack. And so a little leather sack that the being had made. And so those are energy channels that now, with the technologies we use, they found that there's fiber optic lines where the meridians and the channels flow. And those points are little entry points and exit points for the energy. And you can attune it. It's just like tuning a piano string. And so what's flowing on, it's literally fiber optic, a genetic fiber optic cable, an organic fiber optic cable. And it conducts ultraviolet light from the pineal throughout the entire body. And at each layer of the body, of which there are 7, again, we're created in God's image, starting at the root, what they call the root chakra. A chakra is just a Hindu word that in Sanskrit that means spinning wheel. Because if you look at that energy, it's spinning. All it is a little server. Okay, it's just a little computer server that's taking all the signals in for that area, and from the pineal, which is literally where, if you take from the crown of your head, when a soft spot, to your perineum, and between your ears, straight across, and then right where your glabella is, which is right between your eyebrows to the first vertebrae coming out beneath your skull, you have a 3-dimensional cross. Again, in the image of God's only begotten Son. You have the cross, that's your connection to Christ right there, the pineal. So that energy comes in, the compassion, healing, and love of God through Christ to us, and is radiated through the entire body, which keeps the body healthy. And all those little servers pick up the energy for that area. So the heart chakra runs the heart, the lungs, the diaphragm, everything in that area. The throat chakra runs your thyroid and all your all your vocalizations, your willpower centered there. So it's just little servers that are spinning energy, spinning in and spinning out. It's literally a Merkabah field that correctly rotating. The top is rotating at 33 1/3 RPM revolutions per trillionth of a second. The bottom is rotating at 21 2/3. So the torque's on the singularity at the center of that little computer system that's pulling from God, the energy and the word of God. And then that radiates out into the accretion disk. And that disk is then rotating at 45 revolutions per minute. The Medtronic, what they do is they lock the top with the bottom, and it changes the revolutions until it goes to 55. And so you have, this antichrist situation happening. But when all of the 7 servers are running correctly in alignment and the pineal is open, it's like Matthew 6:23, thine eye, it's singular. If you go to the King James, the ancient, 650, year time frame, it's singular. Even in the current one in King James, it's still singular. Other ones, they've changed it to plural so that you don't know. It's just like the in and on situation in Revelation. They changed it. So they just changed the translation slightly. And so in that, that server system, the same with this planet originally. This planet where they came from, because of how they are, it was that way too. It became that way because they made it that way, because they linked with Sophia. So she took the heart out of that planet, and she took its connection to God out. So all it had was the first, second, third, fifth, and sixth chakra, or energy control systems. Little, massive, in this case of a planet, energy systems. And so when it blew up, that's what came to Earth, is this black. It turns the heart of the planet black because it's no love and compassion. It's greed. It's hate. That's evil. It's literally in an inversion way. So this black goo came in the remnants of that planet, fell to Earth, and that's where we got the black goo that's in the Falkland Islands, in the Gulf oil, in the outside DIA, all of that stuff. And they're harvesting it to create this jab to create human 2.0. So that's a little more on the AI so you understand.